Last Thursday, my friend Walter, 78 years old, retired librarian, and one of the toughest old guys I know, was out mowing his lawn under the warm Florida sun. The kind of guy who always says, "I feel younger than I look." He came back inside, wiped his forehead, and did what he's always done for decades, poured himself a tall glass of ice-cold water, gulped it down in a few seconds, and plopped down on the couch to cool off. 15 minutes later, his wife Sandra found him clutching his chest, pale and trembling, his shirt soaked in cold sweat. They rushed him to the hospital. Diagnosis: a cardiac event triggered by cold water consumption following intense activity. His doctor used a term that I hadn't heard before, cold-induced vasoconstriction. When I visited him yesterday, Walter smiled weakly and said, "I never thought a glass of water could almost kill me." I've known Walter for 30 years. He walks, eats clean, and takes his meds. And yet, that one simple habit nearly cost him everything. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever grabbed a cold drink right after coming in from the heat, or right after a meal? Maybe even before bedtime? For folks over 60, what used to be refreshing might now be dangerous. What changed? As we age, our bodies react differently. And some habits, like drinking ice-cold water, can have unexpected, even dangerous consequences. Especially if you're already dealing with high blood pressure, heart rhythm issues, or just the wear and tear that comes with age. So today, we're going to uncover how cold water can trigger reactions in your body that may lead to a heart attack. Why it's especially risky after meals or exercise. And most importantly, what you can do instead, without giving up hydration or comfort. Stay with me to the end, because the final section will show you how to adjust just one small habit, and potentially avoid a midnight trip to the ER like Walter. Because sometimes, it's not the big things that get us, it's the little ones we ignore. Let's dive in. Let's talk about what happens inside your body, especially after 60, when you drink cold water. Now, if you're young, strong, and your blood vessels are flexible, chugging a cold drink on a hot day might just give you a brain freeze. But for older adults, especially those dealing with high blood pressure or a history of heart problems, it's not just uncomfortable, it can be dangerous. Here's why. When you drink ice-cold water, your esophagus and stomach rapidly cool, sending a shock signal through your autonomic nervous system. This causes your blood vessels to constrict, a phenomenon known as cold-induced vasoconstriction. That's just a fancy way of saying, your arteries tighten up. And when that happens, your blood pressure spikes, your heart has to pump harder, and if you already have narrowed arteries due to cholesterol buildup or atherosclerosis, this sudden tightening can trigger a cardiac event. That's what nearly happened to Walter. But it gets more serious. Cold beverages can stimulate the vagus nerve, a nerve that plays a crucial role in regulating your heart rate. And in some cases, this can lead to what's called vagal overstimulation. The result? A sudden drop in heart rate and blood pressure. You might feel dizzy, nauseated, or suddenly break into a cold sweat. These are low heart rate symptoms that many seniors confuse with simple fatigue or even indigestion. But they can be warning signs that your heart is under stress. Even more subtle signs include mild chest discomfort, shortness of breath, a sinking feeling or sudden exhaustion. And most people would never connect these symptoms to drinking a glass of cold water after exercise or after coming in from the heat. So here's what's happening in summary. Cold fluid enters your digestive tract, signals your body to constrict blood vessels, triggers the vagus nerve, slows your heart rate or spikes your blood pressure, may reduce oxygen to the heart temporarily, triggers symptoms that are often ignored. And if you're someone dealing with heart conditions after 60, this sudden change can be the tipping point. Now, if you've ever had one of those moments where you felt faint after a cold drink or got dizzy for no reason, you might have brushed it off. But I urge you, don't ignore it next time. Drop a comment if you've ever felt something strange after a cold drink. Let's learn from each other. because the smallest details can save lives. And don't go anywhere, because in the next segment, we'll talk about something you may be doing every single evening that could quietly be putting pressure on your heart, especially after dinner. Now let's talk about a habit so common that most people don't even question it, having a cold drink or dessert right after a meal. For many seniors, especially during summer or after a heavy dinner, nothing feels more satisfying than a glass of iced tea, a scoop of ice cream, or even just a cold soda. It cools you down, refreshes your palate, and gives a moment of pleasure. But here's the thing most people don't realize: this seemingly harmless habit can place sudden and dangerous stress on your heart. Let me explain. After a meal, your body directs extra blood flow to your digestive system. This is a natural process called postprandial hyperemia. Your heart is already working a bit harder to pump blood toward the stomach and intestines. Now, imagine introducing a large volume of cold beverage into that system. Your stomach muscles constrict, blood vessels around the digestive tract tighten up, and this sudden cold-induced vasoconstriction throws off your body's balance. If you're over 60, your system doesn't adapt as easily. The result can be an overreaction of the vagus nerve, a phenomenon known as vagal overreaction. Your heart rate may suddenly drop, your blood pressure dips, and your body enters a mild state of shock. Symptoms might include lightheadedness, palpitations, cold sweats, even fainting, especially if you stand up right after. Many seniors confuse this with being too full or just tired. But the truth is, cold beverages and digestion can interact in ways that place significant strain on your cardiovascular system. That's exactly what happened to me once. I remember years ago, after a large dinner with my daughter's family, I reached for my favorite iced sweet tea. I'd done it 100 times before. But that night, as I finished the last sip, I felt my chest tighten. I stood up to help clear the table and suddenly felt dizzy, short of breath, and sat down just in time before passing out. My doctor later explained that the combination of digestion plus cold fluid caused a brief drop in blood pressure and increased heart strain. Thankfully, it passed. But he warned me, "Harold, next time it could be worse." This experience changed how I see the connection between digestion and heart function. Here's the science behind it. Cold water post-meal causes your stomach to contract, interrupting normal digestion. It slows enzyme activity, making food harder to process. Your body shifts focus from digestion to regulating internal temperature. This redirection can stress the heart, especially for seniors with weakened cardiovascular systems. And remember, when digestion slows, food stays in your stomach longer, leading to bloating, gas, and sometimes acid reflux. If stomach acid rises while you're lying down after dinner, it can lead to aspiration, where acid enters your lungs, and this is a serious risk, particularly in seniors. That's why experts recommend avoiding cold drinks immediately after meals, especially in the evening. So what should you do instead? Let your meal settle for at least 30 minutes before consuming any cold beverages. If you're thirsty, opt for room temperature or warm drinks. They aid digestion. Avoid pairing meals with iced sodas or cold milk. These slow down metabolism and may trigger thermal shock response. And if you must indulge in a cold dessert, wait at least 30 to 60 minutes after the meal, and enjoy it slowly, in small bites. If this is a habit you've had for years, don't worry. You're not alone. But changing it could make a significant difference in your heart health and digestion. Have you ever experienced shortness of breath or lightheadedness after a cold drink post-meal? Let me know in the comments. Your story might help someone else connect the dots in time. In the next segment, we'll answer a question that's on many people's minds: why do younger people seem to handle cold drinks just fine, but for seniors like us, it could be dangerous? The answer lies deep in circulation, metabolism, and thermoregulation. So stay with me, you won't want to miss it. You might be wondering, I've seen my grandkids chug ice water after basketball practice, or my son grab a cold soda after dinner, and they're totally fine. So why is it such a big deal for me? That's a valid question. And the answer reveals something critical about how aging changes our bodies, especially when it comes to the heart and circulation. Let's start with one important difference: thermoregulation. When we're young, our bodies are highly adaptable. Step into a cold shower. Your blood vessels respond quickly, your skin adjusts, and within moments, your core temperature balances out. But as we age past 60, the internal thermostat becomes sluggish. Our circulatory system, nerve response, and metabolism don't react as efficiently. This makes seniors more vulnerable to what experts call thermal shock response. So, when someone in their 70s drinks a large glass of cold water, especially after a meal or exercise, their body may overreact. The sudden temperature difference can cause peripheral blood vessels to constrict, a drop in core temperature regulation, stimulation of the vagus nerve, which in older adults may lead to an abrupt heart rate drop or low blood pressure after drinking water. This wouldn't be a big deal in a healthy 25-year-old with a strong heart. But for someone with high blood pressure, atherosclerosis, or a history of cardiac events, it could lead to chest pain, dizziness, or even a cardiac episode. Let me give you a real example. Last winter, my neighbor, Mr. Clark, 76 years old, fit for his age, had just come in from shoveling snow. Tired and thirsty, he drank half a bottle of a cold sports drink in one go. Within minutes, he felt tightness in his chest and weakness in his left arm. His daughter rushed him to the ER, where doctors confirmed it was a mild heart attack, likely triggered by cold-induced vasoconstriction combined with exertion. That day changed how Mr. Clark and I think about even the smallest decisions we make daily. So, what makes seniors particularly vulnerable? Slower cardiovascular reflexes. The heart doesn't adjust to pressure changes as fast. There's reduced sensitivity in baroreceptors, which regulate blood pressure. Decreased vagal tone. The vagus nerve becomes more reactive. A sudden cold stimulus can trigger a vasovagal response, lowering heart rate dramatically. Weaker hydration balance. Seniors are prone to dehydration, but also can't handle fluid shifts well. Cold drinks can cause rapid internal adjustments that strain the kidneys and heart. Medication interactions. Common drugs for hypertension, diabetes, or osteoporosis can make the body slower to react. For instance, beta blockers or ACE inhibitors may amplify the drop in blood pressure. If you're over 60 and on any of these medications, or have a history of cardiac risks after 60, you should be particularly mindful. So here's a gentle challenge from me: pay attention to how your body responds. The next time you sip something cold after a walk or a warm meal, pause. Does your heart flutter? Do you feel lightheaded? Are your hands suddenly cold or your breathing shallow? These may be subtle signs that your body is struggling with what seems like a harmless routine. Let me ask you this: have you ever felt unexpectedly tired or dizzy after a cold drink? Have you had chest discomfort or nausea but brushed it off? Please share in the comments. Your story could help someone else recognize an early silent heart attack symptom. And don't worry, in the next part of the video, I'll share what you can do instead. Simple changes, nothing drastic, that can help you stay safe without giving up comfort. We'll go over the right way to hydrate, the best temperature for drinks, and even what kind of herbal teas might protect your heart instead of stressing you. You're not fragile, you're wise. And being wise means making small adjustments that preserve your independence and your peace of mind. Now that we understand why cold water and heart attack risk are closely linked, especially for seniors, it's time to shift the focus toward practical, easy-to-follow changes that can help you stay safe, hydrated, and heart healthy. Let me be clear, I'm not here to ban cold drinks forever. I'm here to help you adjust when and how you drink them, especially if you're over 60 and want to avoid cardiac risks after 60. Let's start with the simplest fix: temperature. You don't have to drink steaming hot water, but try aiming for room temperature or slightly warm water, especially after meals or physical activity. This reduces the risk of cold-induced vasoconstriction and allows your cardiovascular system to stay calm and balanced. When your body isn't shocked by a cold stimulus, your vagus nerve doesn't overreact, and your heart rate and blood pressure stay steady. And here's a surprising bonus: warm fluids aid digestion. That means fewer episodes of post-meal indigestion, acid reflux, or chest pain after cold water, which many seniors report but often ignore. Next tip: timing matters. Never drink cold beverages immediately after eating. Your digestive system is already working hard, and adding icy liquid can slow down enzymatic activity in the stomach, disrupt metabolism, and stress your heart unnecessarily. This is especially important if you have a senior metabolism slowdown, diabetes, or take medications that affect digestion or circulation. Instead, wait at least 30 to 45 minutes after your meal before consuming any beverage colder than room temperature. Better yet, sip warm herbal tea like chamomile, ginger, or cinnamon, all of which support both digestion and cardiac health. Change the way you drink. If you're thirsty, don't gulp a full glass. Take small sips, pause, and listen to how your body responds. This is particularly helpful if you're prone to low blood pressure after drinking water or dizziness. Think of hydration as a gradual process, not a race. A sudden influx of cold fluid is a shock, especially for a heart that's already aging. Here's what Mr. Harold learned the hard way. One evening after dinner, he poured himself a glass of iced lemonade while watching the news. Within minutes, he felt short of breath and had to lie down. His pulse was slow, his hands clammy. Turned out, it was a mild vagal overreaction, triggered by the combination of cold liquid and a full stomach. His doctor advised, switch to room temperature lemon water, and always sip slowly, never gulp. It worked wonders. Now, let's look at the best beverage choices for seniors concerned about heart health. Warm lemon water, gently detoxifying, supports hydration without shocking your system. Cinnamon tea helps manage blood pressure and stabilize blood sugar. Ginger tea promotes circulation and reduces inflammation. Hibiscus tea, clinically shown to help lower high blood pressure. Plain warm water, ideal for hydration before bed or after meals. Avoid iced tea after dinner. Cold juices first thing in the morning. Cold carbonated drinks late at night. Special nighttime tip. Many seniors experience morning blood pressure spikes due to dehydration or poor sleep. To reduce risk, don't drink cold water within 1 hour of bedtime. Opt for lukewarm herbal tea or a few sips of room temperature water instead. This helps maintain hydration without triggering sleep-disrupting vasoconstriction or nighttime heart strain. A final note about temperature sensitivity. If you're someone who prefers cool drinks, try this transition method. Start with room temperature water, then add just 1 or 2 ice cubes, not a full glass. Gradually wean yourself off the cold by alternating warm and cool drinks throughout the day. Track how your body feels. Are your hands cold? Do you feel sluggish after meals? Adjust accordingly. Your body is giving you clues. Learn to listen. You don't have to give up comfort to stay safe. You just need to stay mindful of timing, temperature, and your body's changing response. So let me ask you, have you ever felt lightheaded or tight-chested after a cold drink? What's your go-to beverage after dinner? Drop a comment below and share, it might help someone avoid a future emergency. Stick with me, because in the final segment, I'll sum up today's most important lessons and give you a gentle challenge that could help you protect your heart, your sleep, and your independence. So what's the real takeaway from today's story? It's not about fearing cold water. It's about respecting how our bodies change after 60, especially when it comes to the heart, blood pressure, and digestion. That moment when Mr. Harold's friend collapsed after mowing the lawn and chugging a glass of cold water wasn't random, it was a warning. One that too many seniors overlook until it's too late. Let's recap the key lessons. Cold beverages, especially when consumed quickly or right after a meal, can cause cold-induced vasoconstriction, narrowing blood vessels and raising cardiac risks after 60. This sudden reaction can stimulate the vagus nerve, leading to symptoms like dizziness, low heart rate, or even fainting. Drinking cold liquids after eating can interrupt digestion and trigger post-meal chest discomfort, which is often misread as simple indigestion, but in seniors, it might be a heart attack warning. So here's the simple change that could save your life. Switch your drinking habits. It's that easy. Drink warm or room temperature water, especially after meals or physical activity. Sip, don't gulp. And if you really want to cool down, cool the room, not your drink. This one small adjustment could help you avoid a trip to the emergency heart care services. It could keep you out of the ER. And more importantly, it could help you wake up every morning feeling better, not worse. You know, at 76, I've learned to listen to my body. Not just when something hurts, but when something feels off. That quiet tightness after a drink. That fatigue after dinner. That one night of bad sleep that turns into 3. You deserve better than that. You deserve mornings with clear thoughts, steady hands, and a strong heart. And sometimes, it starts with something as simple as what you drink before bed. So tell me, what's your evening routine like? Do you prefer warm tea or cold water before sleep? Have you ever felt tightness or discomfort after a cold drink? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one, and your story might just help someone else in this community stay safe. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another story, tip, or warning that could keep you and your loved ones healthier for longer. Oh, and before you go, there's another video waiting for you. It's all about early morning blood pressure spikes, and why they're more dangerous than you think. You'll find the link right here on the screen or in the description. Stay safe. Stay warm. And remember, it's not just the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. See you in the next one.